What's going on, you guys? Alright, today is Wednesday night, I believe. March 8th, Wednesday night. We are southbound on Interstate 15 right now, over on the outskirts of Apple Valley, California. As you know, Apple Valley is right next to the city that I live in, Victorville. As it turns out, I'm under a load right now that delivers in Victorville. My favorite customer for multiple reasons, the least of which is the fact I actually live within walking distance of this receiver. In fact, when I have any ordinary load, or if any kind of trailer with me, even if it's empty, if I'm at the house and I have a trailer with me, I park right there by Americold. That's where we're going, is Americold Logistics to deliver. We're at the Dale Evans Parkway exit. I'm not used to working with exit numbers here, guys, so it's exit 161. For the longest time, California had never had exit numbers. We didn't have mileposts or anything. Or the mileposts here are by county, not by state. And the exits off all the highways, for the longest time, didn't have any exit numbers at all. They only started doing that within the last 15 or so years, I would say. And that was because a bunch of truckers and tourists kept complaining that they had a harder time finding their, figuring out where they needed to exit when they were trying to get to certain places. Alright, anyway, there are other reasons why I like this customer, but we'll get into that a little bit later here, when it's actually time to go in there and make the delivery. This load I picked up at our Sepulpa terminal. Another driver had picked it up at the Conagra plant. I think it was in Russellville, Arkansas, and they brought it to the yard, and then I repowered it from there and ran it here. Now this load is not due until the 10th at 9 a.m. Tonight is the 8th at 23:16 local time. So I'm running no more than a day ahead. Even if I'd done an extra 10-hour break on the way here, I was still going to be a good day ahead of schedule. In fact, they actually asked me about repowering a load earlier while I was still on my 10-hour break in Casablanca, New Mexico, at the Dancing Eagle Travel Plaza. Asked me if I could repower a load and deliver it in Riverside tonight at 00:30. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I can make that one on time. There's too much risk that I will run out of clock. I mean, as it turns out, I don't know. I got an hour and 4 left on my clock right now, and I've been running 63 miles an hour here in California the whole time, and so I'm running actually faster than I might normally. I tend to only do like maybe 60 at most when I'm in Cali. I'm usually not in any kind of hurry. But yeah, I don't think I would have been able to deliver that one on time. So I had to tell them, I can't do that one. I'm too far away, basically. Alright, so before I do want to talk about something that, basically a discussion I had with one of our viewers. Before that, though, I want to talk about this receiver here, Americold. If you're coming to delivery here, now this time of night, or this time of day, I'm going to go ahead and use the shortest route, which, this guy's making me slow down here. Anyway, I'm going to use the D Street exit, which if I'm not mistaken, is exit 151 or 152 or something like that. I don't remember. I just know it's D Street and Highway 18. Again, remember, I'm a California native, and I grew up in this area, and I know all the exit numbers chronologically by sequence by name. I don't know the exit numbers for a lot of them because for the longest time, that's all I knew was exit names. Yeah, all the way, pretty much anywhere in the area. I know all the a lot of the street names or highways, whatever. Okay, so short way in will be to get off at D Street or Highway 18. Take that to the east over to Hesperia Road and follow Hesperia Road to the south, and that's the route I'm going to take tonight. However, if you're not familiar with the area and you're here during the daytime, even if you are familiar with the area, I extremely strongly suggest you stay on 15 until you get to exit 148, which is Nisqually Road and La Mesa Road. Get off there. There's going to be 2 left turn lanes. Use the inner left turn lane. It's because you're going to have to make another left turn because when you get off the off-ramp there, you're going to make a left onto Amargosa Road, and then right after you get onto Amargosa, you have to make another left to get onto Nisqually, and Nisqually Road will kind of take you straight across to where the industrial park is that this receiver's at. You're going to see taking this way, though, there's a difficult right turn. During the daytime, there's a lot of traffic on D Street as well as on Hesperia Road. I strongly discourage going this way during the daytime. You're not going to have a fun time trying to make that turn. High risk of an incident of some sort, where they're taking the fence out at the corner, or you're having to do a J-hook turn and some idiot tries to dive in underneath you on the right side while you're trying to make your turn. Or you're stuck waiting on Hesperia Road traffic coming onto D Street to get out of the way. So these are the problems you're going to run into if you take this route that I'm going to be taking. And like I said, you're going to see that turn. I don't really care with this kind of traffic that I'm going to see tonight. It's not a concern about it whatsoever for me. All right, so that said, let's get to mini discussion I had with a viewer who's thinking about getting their CDL. What's it, OTR? I think it was the username. I hope I got your YouTube name right. So OTR wanted to know how long I spent with Sierra England before leaving them. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you a full history on my driving career. Yeah, a lot of you guys who are regulars to my channel know that I'm an Air Force vet. That quilt that you see there on my bed is kind of obvious. The shirt that I'm wearing right now, kind of obvious. A lot of stuff, but yeah, I'm retired Air Force. And all right, so I started my CDL career with Sierra England. Now, yeah, I know they don't have the greatest reputation among among truckers, but my experience with them wasn't so bad. Actually, I would say it was probably a little bit more of the exception to the rule, but honestly, it doesn't matter which trucking company. What do we got going on here? They're in the median, I think. Okay. This next exit right here is D Street, by the way. Alright, so, alright, I have my reasons for choosing Sierra England. One, they had a CDL school in Fontana, so I could drive easily 40 miles each direction to get from my house to the CDL school and back every day. And it was, it's a fast-paced school, 6 days a week, 3 weeks long is what it was for me. Very fast-paced. A lot of people say it's too fast, but honestly, I don't think it was so bad. It probably could have used some more time practicing certain things, but like mainly doing road stuff. Anyway, it's a little bit longer topic there anyway. So Okay, the other thing, I wanted to go to a reefer company. Some of you guys know I have a strong interest in economics and investing, and I wanted to do a part of the trucking industry that was most economically secure. So if the economy takes a shit, I don't want to be out of a job and not get miles, whatever, and having to go relocate to somewhere else. I want to just settle in wherever I'm at and get comfortable and, establish, be happy, It's not always about the money either. So that was the other thing. Yeah. I knew that Sierra England had a terminal in Colton because I've driven by it so many times when I worked at March Air Reserve Base. And my kids lived in Rialto. I used to go right past the Sierra England terminal to get over to see my kids. So I had a lot of reasons to want to go with Sierra England. Actually, right behind us, a couple miles, there's Robertson's Ready Mix. A friend of mine I I grew up with. I actually known him since kindergarten. We were classmates. He's a trucker, and I asked him for input first, and he had suggested Robertson's. They had a free CDL training program too, but their Class A's pulled double hoppers, and I didn't want to do double hoppers. I want to do 53s. And on top of that, they had a 2-year contract that you had to do after you got through with the program. Me being a veteran, Sierra England, their program was only 6 I got my CDL for free through them, and I only had to commit to a 6-month program with them because of my veteran status. Otherwise, it was 9 months for everybody else. All right. Honestly, the Fontana School, which is now in Colton, the Fontana School no longer exists. They moved it to the Colton terminal. Actually, I just did a delivery in Fontana at Vistar. If you watch my channel, I actually drove right past the exact same lot where I did the CDL school at, and it's no longer Sierra England. Okay, so this next light up here, not this yellow one that's turning red, but the green one right past it, that's going to be Hesperia Road. We're going to turn right there. That's the difficult right turn. All right, anyway, the academic part of CDL school there at Sierra England is very fast-paced, and they tend to be assholes too. I remember the guy, because there's a lot to cover in very short time, so they don't want the time getting through the curriculum getting wasted by too many questions or bullshit. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of that. Someone has a question, they should be able to ask it and get the more full experience. Alright, I'm going to let this car back here on the left go. I need to know if... Alright, look like we're clear up here. How do I scan for oncoming traffic? Yeah, we're good all the way through. So I'm going to need to come all the way into the right turn lane. You see how... where my tandems ended up there, if you're watching that rear view cam there. Now normally I don't get that much space to work with, and I have to J-hook and deal with the traffic coming up behind me as well. Alright, anyway, going back to Sierra England, I need to kind of hurry up the pace here too. So the instruction there was actually good. They covered a lot of stuff, but I'm going to tell you, I spent 1.5 years of my 2 years with Sierra England as a trainer. I don't care what you think about 6-month experienced drivers being trainers. I actually had reservations about being a trainer myself, but my DM, who happened to be a former driver himself, thought I would be a really good one based on our, all the interactions he and I had with each other. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll give it a try. I don't know. It wasn't about the money for me, but anyway. Okay, well, going back, academic, very fast-paced, and doesn't matter if it's a nice guy in the person's a nice guy, he's probably an asshole in the academic class. Kind of like a drill instructor in a way. But once you get to the yard, then you start doing all the backing training and all that, and pre-trip training and stuff. The yard instructors, I thought, were very good and thorough. They gave a lot of, because remember, now mind you, their goal is to just teach you what you need to know to pass the CDL test. They're not trying to get you to become a seasoned trucker, okay? They just, and they're not the ones who set the rules on how the CDL test is administered. The DMV does that. California State DMV and any other state DMV, they might actually have some variances in how they do things. Like California has parallel parking, or I mean, not, well, everybody does parallel parking, but California, you have to do the alley dock as well. The 90-degree alley dock. Most states do not do the 90-degree alley dock. So, CDL schools, or at least carrier-sponsored schools, tend to only teach you what the DMV mandates for testing on. And then once you get through passing your test, you get on a trainer's truck for whatever amount of time, and the trainer is supposed to do their job and walk you through all the other stuff. Trip planning, weather planning, all the getting rid of your bad four-wheeler habits that you're bringing to the industry with you that you don't realize that you have. Learning how to back a truck and trailer, a whole bunch of other stuff that they're supposed to do. Unfortunately, a lot of trainers, regardless of experience level, tend to use trainees as mile mules, where they only care about getting paid using the trainee. Are you ever going to pass me, dude? Yeah, I do have a couple more lights to go before I'm going to want into that left lane, but I don't want them hanging out back there. I don't know why this street here is a 50 zone right here, so, and I'm only doing 40. I don't know why that car's not passing me up. It's almost like they're expecting me to make a left turn soon. Alright, but yeah, a couple more lights up, I am going to need to get in the left lane. Alright, anyway, I spent a year and 3 months on the OTR side with Sierra England. Now that I was not a fan of. I ran teams for a bit, for his first 6 months mostly. Well, I actually had a great trainer. He had 19, almost 20 years of trucking experience when I got on his truck. So, and he and I are good friends to this day. So I got lucky in that aspect. But when I went to upgrade in Salt Lake City to get up to, to co-driver status or whatever you want to call it, I think we had like 12 guys in there upgrading at the same time, and only one other person in there upgrading said he had a good experience with his training. He had a female trainer who I guess did a superb job on him, training him. Everybody else in the class though said they hated their training experiences. Their trainers sucked. Some of them even had multiple trainers before they got a chance to upgrade. Okay, there's going to be a couple of curves right in here. There's going to be kind of a dark street. That'll be Ottawa Street. I'm going to make a left turn there. Now, how close is this to where I live? If we turn right instead of left right here, go make a couple more turns over in this neighborhood, you're at my house. Alright, anyway. OTR now, it's, the pay isn't very good. Not good at all, really, at least when I was there. Unless you were a trainer, but then it was too fast paced. It's all almost all team speed trucks, and a lot of the loads were run behind. And one of the big problems I had too was a lot of our freight was XPO loads, or Conway at the time. Now I liked Conway loads overall. However, it was very common for sometimes for when I get to the receiving end, it's supposed to be drop hook on both ends. Well, I'd go drop my loaded trailer, and they're supposed to have an empty trailer sitting there waiting for you. Yeah, most of the time, nope. They didn't have any empty trailers available, but they had other trailers. But the problem was, they just hadn't unloaded the other trailers yet, so you had nothing to work with, and you have to go on a wild goose chase. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop right here by this light behind this KLM driver, because see that truck turning in that driveway right there up ahead? That is exactly where we're gonna turn into when it's time to make our delivery. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish kind of this discussion here. I don't really normally want to spend time chit-chatting, but it make the video too long too, but it's kind of a necessary evil here, okay, unfortunately. Alright, anyway, yeah, 15 months OTR, and then I ended up getting recruited into the Walmart dedicated fleet in Colton. Did Sam's Club loads either out of the Colton Walmart distribution center that I'm always at with JCT, or I'd go over to the Riverside DC and pick up Walmart or Walmart neighborhood market loads from there. I enjoyed my time in that fleet overall. I did not like doing the day cab routes in that fleet because it was too fast paced. I was supposed to have a 30-minute break, but my 30-minute break was usually spent trying to get inventory stickers off of the pallets that the Walmart employee or Sam's Club employee was, or actually Walmart, because on those loads were faster paced. While they'd pull the pallets out of the trailer, I'd pull the inventory decals off. That was the normal function at most of the Sam's Club and Walmart stores. Certain ones they actually did their job and didn't make us do it, and in fact didn't let us on the dock, and that's how it was supposed to be. But most of the time, most all the customers, we were supposed to go on the dock and pull the decals ourselves. So not a fan of the day cab side of Walmart. But now again, I was a trainer, and most of the time I was in that fleet, I was driving up to Salt Lake City, delivering to the Sam's Club stores up there. Maybe sometimes I'd go to Sacramento, Reno. Usually Sacramento was the solo drivers, though, solo condo drivers, and then I would do Reno sometimes, a fair amount. Go out to like the Phoenix, Casa Grande, Tucson region, yeah, or all the way out to Las Cruces, New Mexico. At the time, we also had 3 stores up in Washington. That was once in a while I went up to. I had Kent, Auburn, and Seattle. But while I was in that fleet, Walmart closed down all 3 of those Washington stores, and then they also closed down a good number of the stores here in California as well, and as well as the Phoenix area. So a good number of the stores in our fleet that our fleet serviced closed down, and the miles went down. That was one of the concerns I had. Ultimately, why I left Sierra England. There were 3 main factors. One, the miles were down because of those stores closing. Walmart was basically trying to compete with Amazon at the time, and in fact, I think the Seattle store, they ended up turning into a distribution, like a warehouse of some sort for e-commerce, if I remember right, while the other 2 just permanently shuttered. Also, I'm not a fan of auto shift. You guys know that. Lisa Hodgkiss. Now we've been friends for for a pretty good amount of time. We know each other through Scotty D67. She's always given me a hard time about eventually getting in an e-truck or something, a Tesla semi. But now I was trained in a manual transmission. I hate auto shift. Even to this day, I'd rather be in an auto shift in a manual transmission truck. But yeah, so there was that. The safety features on those trucks, they were too early generation, and they were very problematic. Overreacting to problems, slamming on the brakes for stuff that didn't even exist, and I thought that was extremely dangerous. I remember myself and or my co-driver or trainee, whatever, got almost rear-ended a couple of times by drivers, truckers who were following us too closely and were not expecting the truck to do that. We weren't expecting it either. So I'm totally anti that collision avoidance crap. Well, speaking of that, enter part 3 of why I left Sierra England. I mentioned the Reno Sam's Club store. I went up there to make a delivery. We were on, my trainee and I were on our way back down. I was driving. We were in California, if I remember right, kind of in the curvy area, still going down toward, before you get down to like Mono Lake, by Lee Vining and all that, up in that area. In between the Nevada line and we'll just say Mammoth, up in that area. But I was following another truck, and then the other truck was following a hotshot driver. If you're not sure what a hotshot driver is, it's basically a guy who drives a pickup with, usually with dually tires on the rear axle, and they pull trailer. That's a commercial vehicle. They actually have authority to operate, and they follow all the same rules that we do. It's a pickup instead of a semi, a tractor, whatever. It's smaller trailer. Anyway, the hotshot driver was up in front of us. He was holding us both up. He decided, there was a sharp left curve, I remember. There was a turnout right in front of that turn. The curve, I mean. He goes into the turnout there to get out of the way so we can go by. Well, no, I'm not a tailgater. I stay a reasonable distance behind, but not excessive distance, but reasonable. I just double check if my wife was on her way or anything. Anyway, the others. Hang on. What's up? Hello?
Hey.
What's up?
Are you ready?
Almost, yeah. I'm vlogging right now, but I will be ready pretty soon.
Okay, how long?
Just like a few minutes should be fine.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Okay, so, yeah, the other truck started accelerating, and I started accelerating, and then all of a sudden the other truck started slowing down and hitting the brakes, and I knew as soon as I saw that it had to have been the hotshot driver was going to run out of room in the turnout and decided to come back out. So I start transitioning from my throttle to the brake pedal, but as soon as I was even touching the brake pedal, never even got a chance to push it in yet. And mind you, I'm going to preface this with the fact that I do not think I needed to hit the brakes that hard. I think a moderate amount of braking would have been plenty to avoid any problems. Did not need to be an emergency braking situation, but apparently the truck thought it was smarter than me and decided to overreact to the situation and slam on the brakes because it saw what was going on up ahead of me, and the road was also damp. So what happened was my drive tires locked up, and it took and I needed my brakes. I couldn't override it with my throttle because I really needed to be on the brakes. Just didn't need them to be applied as heavily as the truck was doing it. So I couldn't override it. And it took about a full second for the ABS system to release the brakes so they'd stop skidding. And that way, that was enough to create what's called a critical event for hard braking. Sierra England and pretty much any company, they have critical events for your ELD can pick up if you're in danger of rolling the truck over. If you're going too fast around a curve or swaying it too much. Also, if you're braking too hard, which I'm going to get to a detail on that in a second, or if you're going over a certain speed threshold that the company sets. Now, hard braking, Sierra England at the time, I don't know what their parameters are now, but it might be the same. Their parameter was 9 miles an hour in 1 second. So if you lose 9 miles an hour in 1 second, then it's going to trigger a hard braking critical event. Now, at the time, I hadn't had even one single critical event of any kind in over a year, up until that point. But because this truck, that truck decided to do its own thing and overreact, and in a situation I couldn't really try to override it, I ended up with a critical event. So I called bullshit on it, get back to the terminal, I tell my safety/training guy, hey, I had a critical event for hard braking, but it was bullshit. The truck overreacted to something that I could have done just fine myself had it not interfered with me. So anyway, he agreed with me on it, but he appealed it to the company safety guys up in Salt Lake City to see if they would take it off my record. But I guess when they reviewed all the data and stuff, because they have like these charts on their computer that can interrogate what the ELD is sending them and all that, and they didn't have dash cams in the trucks at the time, so they couldn't see what was going on there. But they saw the data, what was going on, this like speed and like the black box type parameters that the truck was sending them, and they said, no, we're not going to take it off. I'm like, okay, well, if you're not going to take it off, then I'm not going to drive a truck that is going to do shit that I'm not allowed, that I'm not commanding it to do. You want me to be in control of the truck, then let me be in control of the truck. Don't have it doing shit for me that I don't want it doing. So that was ultimately the straw that broke the camel's back for me, for them. I didn't have a problem with the company. I was well liked there. I enjoyed my time in the Walmart fleet. Got a good rapport with a good number of people there. The pay was decent. Training, but that was the other thing though. On the Walmart fleet, it was a much more relaxed pace for the training most of the time. However, I found there were trade-offs. I could more effectively train on trip planning and weather planning and stuff. Well, maybe it didn't matter so much weather planning, but trip planning, I could more effectively train people on the OTR side. The Walmart fleet, how do you trip plan? Just get on I-15 and just keep driving until you're ready for a break. And you're not going to get off of I-15 at all until we get up to a certain spot, and then it's a matter. The only trip planning is what exit to use and how do you get from the exit to the customer, pretty much. Most of the time, there's nothing to that. Even going up to Sacramento to do those stores or something, or even going up to Reno. Okay, go up I-15 again to Hesperia and get on 395 north. Stay on 395 all the way up, and so it was too simple. But the pace was a lot more manageable. The problem I had was my personal needs. I ended up figuring out that I needed a little bit more variety than what that fleet could offer me. That fleet, there was only a limited number of stores that I could service to some extent. There was some degree of variety that I might do this or that place, whatever. But more often than not, it was most of the same places that were easy for me to figure out. Yeah, I would also do the Sam's Club in Flagstaff, by the way. But as the trainer, though, there were some great things about that fleet and not so great things. Like backing practices, I got tons of opportunities to give trainees a lot of backing practices in the Walmart fleet, both from stores and while at truck stops while on the way to a store. Didn't get a chance to do so much backing practices on the OTR side, but there were other things that you could more effectively train on there. Anyways, that's kind of what you might want to expect if you do decide to go with Sierra England. Someone for any of you guys watching in general, something you might want to keep in mind here when you're considering a company to get trained at, get your CDL through. If you're doing a carrier-based program, is where do you live? And find out if that carrier you're interested in has much freight that goes into your area. Like Sierra England, they have a terminal here in Colton, but I ended up finding out as far as the OTR freight is concerned, there's not a lot of freight that they have that comes into the area. Yeah, they do have freight. I ended up on running a dedicated lane between SoCal and Pennsylvania. But even then, a lot of times I'd end up in some random somewhere else instead of on the way back to California. It was usually had to have a XPO Conway load to get back into the state, and there were only so many of those around. Most of the stuff that goes on here with Sierra England is dedicated fleet stuff. Coca-Cola fleet, Walmart fleet, Target, some other stuff in the area. But if you live in a different part of the country, it might be a different experience. So me getting home time with Sierra England as an OTR driver sucked. It was not easy to get loads into my area most of the time. And here at JCT now, speaking of, I'm just a few days away from hitting my 5-year anniversary here with JCT. One of my friends, actually a couple of other people I know, they live back in North Carolina. And it's a constant complaint of theirs, not being able to get home reliably. Is the reason why we just don't have that much freight in the area. It's hard to get loads. You have to get them to the area first, to where a load actually picks up that goes there. Then they have to have the hours available on their 70-hour clock and or their recaps that will match up with that load so they can deliver it on time. Otherwise, they have to do a swap with someone else who's already under the load, and then especially with like us at JCT, we're mostly lease-offs, but some good number of company drivers now. The other driver can refuse the swap. Say, you might need this for home time, but I'm not giving it up. I don't want your load, or I won't do swaps, or I have a particular reason of my own why I don't, why I may or may not want to do a swap. All these different things. So a lot of times drivers who are in low freight areas get screwed out of getting home when they need to be there. So that's very important to think of. You might want to add in the comments OTR or what part of the country you're in. I might be able to give you an idea if that might be a good spot as far as going to Sierra England school is concerned. Otherwise, other people watching might have experience with other companies' programs. Maybe that might be able to tell you if there's a lot of freight that other companies, puppy mill companies, have in whatever your area is. Definitely worth considering there. Otherwise, regardless of who you go with, if it comes down to it, get your foot in the door, get your CDL, get your training, get upgraded, whatever, and get your at least 6 months of experience, maybe even 2 years of experience, and then move on. And deal with the sacrifices you'll have to deal with, but that's another way you can deal with getting into the industry. All right, anyway, that's plenty. I've talked more than enough here, I'm sure. And we still have to do the delivery. I need to get my stuff going, so we'll continue this when it's time to deliver the load, okay? Alright guys, we are checked in now. It's 9:16. I've actually been in line for an hour trying to even get into here. I'm not sure what's going on here. The process is just a little bit on the slow side. And I'm not sure what's up with this England driver. He was stopped in the middle of the driveway earlier, and let's see, hopefully I got room to get around him. Yeah, that's the driver right there, the guy walking up there. Alright, we're going to dock into door 11, which is over here on this side. Okay, when you dock in here, leave your tandems, slide your tandems all the way back. Man, Stater Brothers, you're not helping me. trying to. I need to leave him room to get by, but he at the same time he's kind of screwing up my setup as well. All right. Oh, how convenient! Right here next, right by the receiving office. Right here, 2 doors over from there. The other side of door 12 is where the receiving office is. Yeah, I got tandems all the way back already. Leave your doors shut and sealed and everything. They open the doors from inside the building. Plenty of room here, as you see. Slow it down so I can react a little more quickly here. Maybe a little bit, yeah, overshot it. Overshot with the tractor. Tandems look to be right about where I want them to be, but overshot with the tractor because I'm watching the angle that the tandems themselves are at relative to the line, and I swore that they were, that was still, the trailer was still angled, so just kind of assumed that it was, that I still needed to give it time to square up before I chase it down. Not to mention these Freightliners, they turn really fast, so. Alright, I'm gonna go get checked in and we'll talk some more when we're out of here. Alright guys, we are finally done unloading. Been a bit of an adventure. Hang on. Okay, let's get rolling. Alright, so it's 14:33 local time now, so I've been in the door for at least a good 5 hours. Turned out they were done unloading me a pretty good time ago, at least a good couple hours I would say, because I remember, man, I was awake the whole time, and I've been monitoring the door light like I was supposed to be doing. I've been paying attention to it the whole time, and yeah, the light just barely turned green about maybe 10 minutes ago. Alright, we come up here. Signed bills are good enough. That's what I was told at least. Just gotta wait on them to come out, and I think they usually check your trailer to make sure it's empty. Okay, so she says I'm good to go. So a little bit of a different process there, it looks like. Okay. I've already slid my tandems back to the 40-foot mark. I already set my empty and all that. Yeah, they didn't start unloading me right away because, I forgot to go out of yard move status. Let me fix that. Come on. Alright, I'm going to just go right over to the Chevron down the street, or actually it's 76 now, it used to be Chevron. Make a left out of here, go to the end of the street and turn right, that's Nisqually Road. Once you make the right on the Nisqually, on the right side will be a 76 gas station. They do actually have truck diesel too, but they don't accept EFS as far as I know. Got another truck stop over here getting ready to open up as well. It's not open yet, but it's getting ready to very soon. Alright, anyway, so all this dock time, apparently they've been done with me for at least a good couple hours. But apparently the guy who unloaded me never released my door and never turned my door light green and released the ICC bar lock, whatever you want to call that thing. So yeah, once the light turned green, I went in there pretty quickly. And the guy was saying, he told the guy to go double check that I wasn't still locked into the door because, he said, he's been done for quite a while and he hasn't come in yet. So, yeah, I wanted to make sure it wasn't just me sleeping or them forgetting to let me out or unlock me, whatever. So, yeah, it turned out it was them not unlocking me. Okay. Got the 76 right here. I'm going to say, this one, I Rocket, that's what it is. Biodiesel B20. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull in here to the 76. I'll just pull into the diesel pump area. So I'm just going to get a quick little break in here. And we'll call it a day. That's something else though. Turned out the unloader also didn't latch my doors properly. Now when I went to double check that my trailer was empty, the right side door latch was, the handle thing wasn't even on right. It was kind of latched, I guess I would say, but I wouldn't really call it secure. And the left door latch, the upper hinge, the upper latch up at the top of the door wasn't even on there right. So, like, I went in there and told him, hey, just FYI, this guy didn't close my doors properly either. I don't know if he's just new to trucking or what, but just in case it is a new person, it wasn't a big deal. I needed to check that the trailer was actually empty anyway, so I wasn't gonna leave without making sure they were latched properly regardless. But I wouldn't have caught that had I not been doing my job. Also, there was a load lock in there. It wasn't my load lock, so whoever loaded the trailer put it in there, but that thing was bent pretty good. So I'm gonna take a wild guess that the guy unloading me also did that. But so be it. All right, so I get my info from my reload. Just FYI, I'm gonna be picking up a Walmart reload in Colton. That one's going to Toma, Wisconsin. You guys have seen countless videos from me in Colton, so I'm going to go ahead and call this one a day, and we're not going to do a Colton pickup video again, all right? At least not for a while, probably. So I'm just going to go ahead and run in. I'm going to get the load picked up whenever it's ready for me, I guess, and if it isn't already. And get it rolling. I'll probably see you guys in Toma, okay? I have done a couple of delivery videos to Toma already, but it's not like super common for me to be there like Walmart and Colton like on an almost weekly basis. So and again, it gives me time a chance to put in other content on my channel that isn't just pickup delivery vlogs, okay? That said, wish you all a great day, and we'll see you guys hopefully in Wisconsin, all right? You all have a great day.